Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? This your boy Leo coming at you with another video. In this video, we're gonna cover Core 1 D316. This is gonna be the class course you're gonna be taking through WGU. It's gonna be part of a 2-course set of courses that once you pass both of those tests, you pass both of those classes. So those 2 classes, align with each test. And then once you do those 2 tests, Core 1 and Core 2, that equals out to a CompTIA's A+ certification, which after finishing both my classes, I finally can say that I'm certified. This is a very proud moment for me, even though this is just the base knowledge and it's not something that, I may be doing in the future. This is something that's big and very, very, amazing for me because it, gives me that foundation that I need to go forward. So a lot of the things that you learn in these 2 classes, you're gonna see over and over again as the base knowledge that you're gonna be able to kind of understand everything else from. So taking those 2 courses through WGU will get you your CompTIA A+ certification. And just to let you guys know, it does expire in 3 years. So I got mine in May 2024, so it will expire in May 2027. So, just so you guys are aware of that. It's nothing too crazy, it's not like a difficult certification, to get, I guess, if you have knowledge. But if you have no knowledge and none of this stuff, it might be a little difficult to understand and kind of get, to that point. But either way, this is something that can be done, and I was able to do it. I'm very proud of myself about it. So I'm going to give you guys everything that I did, everything that, was bad, everything that was good. And hopefully this information helps you in taking these 2 classes, or taking at least this class, because this is what this is going to be about, is D316, and kind of help you get over the hump, or if you have any questions or any, places that you're stuck on and you're not feeling, very, affirmative or whatever. This is an area now to be able to give you guys a little more info to hopefully help you get over that hump and clear those nerves. This is something that I myself was very nervous about. I work in IT, I do an IT job, and a lot of these terms I never heard of, a lot of these stuff I didn't even know. What I'm saying? I'm doing the job already. So this has been able to fill the cracks in my foundation, which, I'm very, very happy to have learned. So getting this A+ exam certification, it was big for me. I'm gonna frame it on my wall, and I'm gonna put it right next to my GED. So, that kind of shows you the route that I've been through in life. So yeah, let's get right to it. All right, so D316, I did 317 first. That one was, challenging, but I was able to pass it, get through it. Looking back at it, it wasn't as hard as I made it out to be. And looking back at this exam, it's the same exact thing. It's not going to be, peaches and butterflies and, crazy easy, but it's also, not going to be super duper and extensive, where you're going to have a hard time finding the answers or something like that, because this stuff is just the foundation. It should be the entry level to IT certification. So a lot of the stuff you're going to be learning is just, like I said, the base knowledge. So my tips when it comes to taking this course, again, we're going to go back to the same things that I preach in every single video, which is the 3 rule. Once you go through that stuff 3 times, and you go through the information 3 times, by the 3rd, 4th time, it should stick. And you should be able to start testing your knowledge in those tests, and practice tests and little things like that. So when I went to start this class, I was very nervous about it. My course instructor kind of told me that this is going to be a challenging class because it's a lot of things to remember, and they were definitely right, but at the same time, to a point. But I'll get to that at the end, a little later on in the video. But right off the bat, when I went through the information, I kind of went through the course material, and I couldn't handle that. It was just too much. I went through the course material during the Core 2 exam, and it was, I feel like I wasted a lot of time. I'm not a person that's good at reading stuff. It starts to just, get on top of each other after a while, and I just don't actually get any knowledge out of it. So watching the videos was definitely the way to go for me. So I did the Jason Dion videos. I did the whole entire section and everything on it. I did all the practice exams. did all the little, quizzes that he gives you along the, the way. And then after I finished everything, I did the final exam there through him. And once I got to like, a 90 on that one, I moved over to the practice exams. And I think he has 6. If you go to Udemy, he has 6 practice exams that you can go on and look at that. And actually, if you leave me a message and you send me an email, I can send you, a packet of the test with highlighted notes and everything that I used, and that's something that you guys can have, just to say thank you, for watching this video. Nice. And also, it's just to, help out and just show you guys that, after I take this stuff, if I have notes, you're more than free to have them. But again, it's only gonna be a one-person thing because I don't have tons and tons of these printouts. So make sure that if this is something you like, you send me a message and send me your address, and I'll ship these over to you just to save some paper. So originally, like I said, I went through the 3 things. I went through it. I went through the videos. I watched all the videos, the whole entire Jason Dion series. After I was done with the videos, I started testing my knowledge with the practice test through Jason Dion. I was probably getting like a 50, 40s, 60s. I was kind of all over the place with the test. So testing so low, it started to kind of give me the idea of, hey, I need to start picking it up. I need to start doing a little more research on some of these things that I never heard of before. So I took the test again and again and again. And I would just retake them and just kind of remember a lot of the questions, a lot of the formats, and that's kind of how I taught myself, through using the test and also going through the videos. So once I took the test, and there was anything that I was kind of, okay, I keep failing this, I don't know what none of this stuff means, I need to go back and, look up some of this information. So an example of some of the things that I was running into. So with RAIDs, with hard drive RAIDs, I was having problems understanding what was a RAID 1, what was a RAID 0, what was a RAID 10, what was a 5, what was the difference between all of them and why you would use them. During the test, I was kind of guessing, and I was getting sometimes the answer right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to know what this stuff actually meant. So if I ran into this issue, during the test, or they flipped the question on me, I knew what to expect and I knew how to answer the question correctly. So RAIDs was one of the options that I had problems with, that I had to go back and do my own research and start kind of, and sometimes the research is not even through WGU. Some of the YouTube videos that I used were by other people. I looked up YouTube videos, through different methods and different ways of teaching you the stuff, by pictures, by, videos, demonstrations on how things worked. So that was able to help me better visualize things and understand things instead of just reading text that, for me, I need to see it. So that personally for me was one of the things that helped. The same thing with Wi-Fi's, all the different kinds of 802 Wi-Fi's. I didn't know what was which, and there's like, 6, 7, 8 different ones. So I had to go through, and same thing. I looked up different methods, different YouTube videos, different ways to teach this stuff that it would help me. One thing that I wish WGU had was an option between, video series, if you like reading, if you like, different avenues of learning, I think would be really nice. And, because everybody learns differently. But personally for me, I watched the videos, I took the test, I went back and reviewed anything that I didn't understand fully. I went back and reviewed. I took 2 months to complete this. 2 months. I think I took way too long. And it was all my own psyche. It was all like a mental issue thing. It was just me getting in my own way and not believing in myself that I could get this done. I started doubting myself at one point, and these are the things that started kind of eating at my process, and me having like a positive mentality towards everything, to school. I started to kind of not even want to go to school. I kind of I let it get to me. So don't let it get to you. Just sit through the information, stay on it. A lot of it is not going to make sense right off the bat, so you're going to have to go through it 3 times. By the 3rd time, you should be able to figure it out. And then when she takes those tests are going to start getting you used to the questions. And if I had to say so myself, I took all the Jason Dion tests. I took a bunch of the CompTIA cohort stuff, not cohort, the CompTIA material stuff, testing myself there. I did some of the flash games, some of the stuff, but I noticed that the CompTIA stuff was good, but at the same time, it gave you a lot of information, a lot of writing, and I just didn't like that. But what I did do is, after I watched the Jason Dion videos, after I took the practice test, I tested my knowledge by going back into the CompTIA course material inside of the class, and I took their practice test, because their practice tests are going to be a little different. They're going to be worded a little different. They're going to try to confuse you a little more. They're going to use different terms. So I was able to test myself. This is what showed me that I was ready to go take that, exam. Me getting 90s and all the Jason Dion exams, yeah, at some point I started to remember all the questions, but that helped. That actually helped me in the last exam when I took the final exam. And then I went into the CompTIA go to course material, section, and I went into there and I took their practice test. And then I went through, and I think I ended up getting like an 80, and then I was like, all right. So I went through the test, I went through the answers, I went through the right and the wrong answers so that I can process this stuff and remember, okay, and I'm not reading the wrong answer. I'm only reading the question and the correct answer. Question, correct answer. Next question, correct answer. And if I have to think about it and sit back and be like, okay, I don't understand this, I'm going to go Google it. I'm going to go YouTube it. I'm going to go find out why. And this is something that I did every single night for about, 2 hours, sometimes an hour, depending. I'm a dad. I have a family. I have a ton, I have 3 kids. I teach soccer. I coach soccer for my kid. We have soccer games. We have soccer practice. I have jiu-jitsu. I have, they have their school stuff. I have a wife. So life gets in the way. But just to let you guys know, I wanted to use life as an excuse for me to stop taking these classes and stop taking school. But that's not the excuse. That's not an excuse, because you can still do it. So if I can still do this stuff, you guys can still do this too. I'm telling you right now, you can get through this stuff. So again, watch the videos, take the class, take the quizzes, make sure you're passing the quizzes, over and over again. Take them. If you're not passing it, get over a 90. Over a 90, move on to the next one. Over a 90, get on to the next quiz. Test all your knowledge on the course material for the CompTIA website. Go to their practice test there and take their practice test. You don't have to go through all the stuff, all the reading material. Just go straight to the test and take their test. Read the test that you're taking and read the correct answer along with the question. So read the question and then the right answer, and make sure you're going through and you're understanding the stuff and you're understanding why. Anything that you don't understand, you YouTube, you look up, and just keep that same process. Do the same thing every single day. Watch a few series of the videos, and then keep going. Watch a few more series of the videos, keep going. Finish the videos, start testing your knowledge with the test. And just keep doing that same routine, and all that information is there. WGU does a great job at giving you tons of information, but they do a crappy job at telling you what information you should be using. Again, that was the problem. It's just so much information, you don't know what to do, you don't know where to do it, and you just kind of get confused because there's so many different avenues. It's like you have 40 highway lanes and you don't know which lane to take because there's so many options. And if you get on one lane and you go down this one lane, you might not be able to get off at the U-turn to turn around to get to another lane for miles down the road. You know what I mean? So you don't want to waste time. You want to just make sure that you're using your time effectively, so you're not taking 2 months to take this test. You know what I'm saying? So and if you fail the test, you're going to have to retake it again. And if you fail again, you're going to have to pay out of pocket. And you don't want to do that. So let's get down right to the test, how the test was. So during the CompTIA test, I scheduled it for a Sunday, 8 o'clock at night test. When I went into the test, I wasn't even nervous this time around. I had studied the information so many times and I had passed the test so many times that I was ready. I was mentally kind of ready. Once I got that little doubt that I had about disk arrays and the Wi-Fi standards, I was kind of like, all right, I don't know what else they're going to throw at me that I'm not going to be able to remember. There's so much information, but I'm kind of ready. So, 8 o'clock came. I was ready. I got on a little earlier. They let me into the test, and I was able to start. At first, the first like 4 questions of the test were drag and drops, or just choose like, an option. It was just a bunch of like PBQ questions, just performance-based questions. And those are other questions that you can actually go in and just look up Core 1 PBQs, or go into WGU into the course search and look and type in PBQs. Be able to find a lot of these PBQs to be able to use, to be able to, kind of get a hand and kind of understand what's going on. You're going to see questions about printers. You're going to see questions about a few questions about ports. They didn't come up as much as I thought they were going to come up, but that was another thing that I studied a lot, was the ports, just to understand the ports. I didn't have a lot of questions about ports. If I had to say, I maybe had 3 questions about ports. I was ready. I know I got them right because I studied them hardcore, but I was kind of surprised, but your test might be all ports. You know what I'm saying? I wish mine would have been all ports because I was ready for that part. But either way, you want to study everything fully. So once I started the test, like I said, the first 4 questions were all PBQs. I went through those. The test said test question. I didn't think it was a test question. I thought it meant test question, like a test question, so you can kind of get used to like the test or something. It was the first question. So, by the third one, I was like, hold up, I think these are actual like real questions. Like, I should maybe not guess through them, or kind of rush through them. So I had to actually go back and fix my other ones, because I thought it was just like a play around how to answer a question, but just don't fall for that. My exam was about 73 questions. 73. It was 73 questions. Like I said, 4 of those were PBQs, and then the rest were just random questions. It was just, from a lot of printer questions about the fuser, about if this happened, what would you check first, stuff like that. I'm trying to think of what else they had. It was just, a lot of the questions were very like easy, to tell you the truth. I don't know if my test was simple, or it was just my version that I had. But once I got going with the test, like, I was trying to slow myself down. I was trying to read the questions, read all the answers, start knocking out answers, just to kind of get to one answer or 2, and just kind of like, which one makes sense more. But I found myself kind of just going through it and just knowing what I was doing. That knowledge, all that studying, it paid off, because once I went through the test, I was done in like 15 minutes. Like, I flew through that thing, and the 15 minutes included the time that I had to, get into the, the test, and for them to allow me and everything. So, I was probably in the test under an hour, and, at the end, they make you take like a survey and everything, and it was so nice to hit next and say, congratulations, you passed for the second time, and then knowing that you're going to get the certification. It was such a nice feeling. I remember just, being like, wow, I just finished my first cert. I know my goal is to become a security analyst, a security, in a security position, but even this little small step felt great. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it allowed me to give me that confidence to be like, oh man, like, I can pass the network plus, I can pass the security plus. I just got to follow my same, learning routine. And this is something that you're going to learn as you go through the classes. You're going to be able to find out what is the best way for you to learn this stuff. What is the best way, and then use the same routine. Don't get in your own head. A lot of the times you start a class and you get in your own head. You suck up too much information at one time, and you get yourself overwhelmed. You got to take the information, break it up, read it, kind of, do I need this? No. Do I need that? No. Okay, let me use this. Let me take all this information and kind of condense it to where I need to have it. Because again, you're going to have 40 different lanes of information coming into you, and you need to suck them down to one lane, which is your brain. So, the best way to do that is just for you to find out what's the best way for you to learn the stuff, and for you to be able to take these tests and go through the stuff without stressing, without having problems, without getting in your own way. Because this stuff, now looking back at it, like, it took me, I was in my own head for way too long, even myself. So, and this is something that you might still do, like you might watch this video and leave with some confidence, but then you still might have that nervousness. I'm telling you, study the stuff 3 times, go through the test, go through everything, study everything, look at everything, like find your route. And then once you go take that test, you're going to have all that information. Some other resources that I used, I went on YouTube and I looked up Core 1 test. There's a guy out there, which I'm sure you can find is very easy. He comes up and he goes through a lot of the questions on the test. And, I did those. I watched hours of those questions with him. I may actually do my own set of questions on my own videos here on my channel, just to give you guys some of the questions that kind of, were asked on my test, just to give you more examples. And if maybe you can take some from mine and some from a different video and piece them together, it all helps. Everything helps. So again, 1, watch the Jason Dion videos, Mike Myers, whoever you prefer. Watch the videos. Take the practice quizzes again and again and again till you pass. Take the CompTIA practice quiz. Anything you don't understand, anything you're failing or you're having troubles not understanding, go back in YouTube. What is the disk array? What is the disk array? What is a disk array? Whatever. YouTube it. You're going to find tons of videos. Whatever video helps you. If you prefer to read, Google it and you can read it. These are just all the same options that you can take. Or if you're good at reading, just go through the CompTIA Go course material and you should be fine with that, because this is coming straight from the the horse's mouth. Again, having my A+ exam it may not open a whole bunch of doors at my point in my career, because I'm already in the field, I'm already have experience and everything, but it's more of a mental and internal thing. It's more of a knowing and reassuring to yourself that you can do this also, that you can go get an A+ exam. This is something that before I started all this, I did not believe I could do. You know what I'm saying? Even with the knowledge of having an IT job, I didn't think I could do that. And I was able to go do it. So, and this is going to carry on to my next course and to my next course, and this is going to just something that I gotta keep reminding myself that I can do this. But along the way, we're going to get through this. I appreciate you guys hanging through the video. If this is something that you guys found, helpful, leave me a comment. If you have any questions, leave me a message, comment, subscribe, like. Let me know if you guys are watching these videos and enjoying them. I'm moving on to my next class, so in a few weeks I should have another video. I'm also going to have a video on my first term at WGU and how it was, so look forward to that. Again, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, if you want my packet, send me a message and I will mail it to you as soon as I can. Again, this is King Leo. I'm out.